What is going on, Flex Zone family? It's your boy, the host with the moist, God's favorite host, Byron Dixon, host of the Flex Zone, the only place giving you your sports how you want it, when you need it. And I'm back again with another video. If you're watching it right now, make sure you hit that like button, smash that bell for all notifications, and make sure you subscribe for all of the Flex Zone podcast content we got. Of course, the flagship podcast each and every Monday at 10 p.m. and our weekly videos from yours truly and other members of the Flex Zone family. Let us know what you would like to see us talk about. And of course, you can always keep up with us down below with the banner, and we'll talk to you about everything we got going on. But of course, if you would like to donate to the cause as well, the Flex on One on Cash App. I'm here today to talk about my AEW review on TBS. Now, as you may or may not know, AEW is officially on the mothership TBS. I call it the mothership because that is where wrestling first was debuted on the Turner family of networks. So don't get offended when I say mothership. I'm not saying it's better than TNT. They're all under the same umbrella. It's the mothership because it was the first one back in 1999 with WCW, Thunder, and when I was younger, those types of events were on TBS. But we're going to have a nice creative review where we tell you if it's good, or as I like to say, it is a flex zone or a no flex zone, which is a bad, or just Muay Terrible, which is just ugly, very terrible. So we're gonna go through the show. I'm gonna give you my flexes and my non-flexes and any terribles. But of course, the first flex. Shout out to Adam Hangman Page and Brian Danielson. Still getting used to saying that. Another classic match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. This time, no time limit draw. But what a hell of a match. Arguably gonna be, if you look at the end of the year coming up in 2022, maybe a match of the year candidate. We're only in January. These two put on a classic show in the ring. Adam Hangman Page is a made man. He's a bigger star than when he walked into that match, and Daniel Bryanson helped elevate him. It was an amazing match. I don't know what's next for Hangman. I don't know what's next for Bryan Danielson. Is it Okada? For Hangman, is it Miro? Does Moxley come back eventually? Is it Adam Cole, baby? We shall see. But that is the first flex zone. An amazing match and a great story they told. My second one, the MJF CM Punk feud gets hotter than a young adolescent going through puberty because this feud, just when I think I've seen it all, they throw another curveball at you and they keep you guessing as to what's next. MJF comes out to fight Captain Shawn Dean. Punk runs out, no music. GTS, Shawn Dean giving MJF the loss via disqualification. So MJF is on one. Punk says he's going to keep doing this until MJF accepts his feud. They go back and forth. The WrestleMania main event barbs. You probably watched it by now. Great clip if you haven't. I mean, Punk tells MJF you can go to WWE. You'll be part of a 4 night event. Buy one, get one free, and you'll probably be released the next week. Amazing storytelling they're doing here. And it sets up next week. MJF's henchman, Wardlow, will finally take on CM Punk, a match we thought we would get at All Out. We're going to get on Dynamite next week. So CM Punk in action against Wardlow. Another flex up, speaking of Wardlow, is the Powerbomb Symphony of Wardlow, building him up, teasing that turn to a babyface. Hopefully they take more time with it, but we see it's coming. He's basically going to become their Batista, and he's going to powerbomb the hell out of MJF. I can't wait to see it. So also, Jade, the first ever TBS champion. I'll get into the match in a second because it was not a flex zone. It was a no flex zone. But we talked about diversity last week. You heard what Big Swole said, and you can argue whatever. But Jade has been the most built up superstar AEW has. And last time I checked, she's a black woman. So with that being said, her being the inaugural TBS champion, which I think was a plan all along because she is undefeated, being put over Ruby Soho, Avalanche Jaded. Congrats to Jade, the first ever inaugural TBS champion. Shout out to her daughter in the crowd as well. Beautiful sight. Black Girl Magic. Keep it up, Jade. Also, would love to shout out Jurassic Express winning their first ever titles in AEW. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, a boy and his dinosaur. Great story. Unfortunate injury in that match, which we'll get to, but a great story. And I'm sure the first of many title reigns to come for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who's over. So those are my flex zones, my no flex zones. The Jericho 2.0 segment, it was a no flex zone. Love Jericho. He threw in some nice jabs, turned some Phillip to 2.0. I actually like what 2.0 is doing in AEW, but I don't know what their end game is as long with Jericho. Are they setting up a Jericho Eddie Kingston feud? I mean, that'll be some great talkers on the mic, maybe a couple decent slugfest matches. I don't know. But it all comes to a head this Friday on Rampage with a six-man tag, no rules, no DQ street fight. So let's see what happens. But that was one of my no flex zones. My other no flex zone is the actual match between Jade Cargill and Ruby Soho. Look, in a couple months from now, AEW is going to be loaded with women's talent. We've seen Mercedes Martinez recently come into the fold. Looks like she's going to feud with Thunder Rosa. But the match was a little sloppy. Seemed like Ruby was waiting for Jade. A couple spots seemed a little delayed. Wasn't as fluid and smooth as you would expect. But the match wasn't what we wanted it to be. But the result I'm okay with because Jade is the champion. We'll see what she can be. Jade is essentially a cross between Goldberg and China, and we'll see what she becomes. I think she has the rocket up to her back and can eventually help put over a baby face like a Ruby Soho in the future in the next couple of months. We'll see. I would love to see what they do with her. It's going to be interesting to see. I also, speaking of flex up, I forgot this and it slipped my mind, but that Serena D promo was awesome with Jim Ross. Shout out to the women of a thousand holds, trained by the great Dean Malenko and CM Punk as well. Now, with the match with Jade and Ruby, as well as the Jericho segment, the injuries, the Ray Phoenix injury was nasty, it was brutal. You've probably seen it by now. Took an ugly fall through the table. Apparently, it's not a fracture or broke. Looks like it's dislocated, so it may not have to miss too much time. But it was bad just because of it kind of took away from the moment of Jurassic Express, and maybe they changed the finish where Jurassic Express eventually did have to win with the roll up. But it was very professional, very well done on their part to still get the job done. Ray Phoenix, we're wishing you up and praying for a speedy recovery for you. Now, nothing muy terrible. I thought the show was pretty solid. I thought it was really good, solid debut on TBS. I do want to see what they're doing with Malachi Black and his House of Black, so I'll hold off my judgment on that, even though I do think we'll see some interesting twists and turns with Brody King coming, possibly Julia Hart taking off the eye patch and turning heel. I would love to see that. So let me know your thoughts on AEW. Next week's a Lotus show. I'll be back to talk more about it. But I want to get into these more WWE firings, and more specifically, William Regal. If you watch New Year's Evil for NXT, Braun Breaker breaks the chains off, smashes through the X. People backstage didn't like it. Obviously, these firings are simply to directly affect Triple H. I mean, let's be real. We know that Triple H helped build the black and gold, black and gold brand, and it's crazy because everything Triple H built with NXT and the black and gold brand is pretty much being destroyed. And I don't get what, well, I do get what Vince is doing. He's pretty much getting rid of everything that Triple H helped create, is sticking it to him one last time because he's going to blame Triple H for him losing the ratings war to NXT, even though that wasn't Triple H's idea to go to Wednesdays. He was cool with Tuesdays. And I think eventually it's going to lead to the downfall of USA not renewing their TV rights deal with NXT and NXT moving back to Peacock, which I think is the best for that promotion because of the actual amount of green talent, a lot of young green talent. They're got the NIL deal where they're developing these college athletes and trying to mold them into their next WWE superstars. They want bigger, faster, stronger, burly men. Vince wants those characters that can be molded in the WWE system at NXT and take it to the main roster. We'll see how that works. We'll see who gets released, who lasts, who bombs, who doesn't get over with the crowd because we know WWE doesn't allow you to get over on your own. Look at a Rusev, amongst others, just to name a quick example. But looking at the releases, I'm gonna go down the list. of it, we had William Regal release, Road Dogg, who was a producer, Scott Armstrong. We've had Ace Steel, Allison Danger, Sarah Cummins, Rajan Singh, Ryan Cash, George Council, Gabe Sapolsky, Timothy Thatcher, Toothless Timmy, another talent released, Hideki Suzuki, who was part of Diamond Mine, and Danny Birch as well. Lorcan, his tag team partner, was released back in November. So it's it's crazy because of all of these names, William freaking Regal, the man who put his blood, sweat, and tears, and you saw the outpouring of support he received on social media from talent such as Johnny Gargano, others in the world of professional wrestling, of how he's made such an impact. Guys from NXT UK talking about how he scouted them and helped them leave their 9 to 5s, get onto the circuit, get found out, help develop NXT UK, and guys that came over to the States and have been stars now. I mean, William Regal. I don't know what's next for William Regal. I don't want to say he's going to go to AEW. Maybe he just needs time off to regroup, recharge, be with his family, and focus on being the best William Regal, being sober, and just being the great man that he has become. But I cannot believe you get rid of Road Dogg, one of Triple H's best friends. You don't think he's sending a message? Come on, people. Open your eyes and see that WWE, or as I say, Vince McMahon and Nick Khan, the bastard Khan, the con man, real con man. Leave Tony Khan alone for right now. He is swindling you. All they care about is making money. Yeah, they're making most more profits than they have ever made, and they got all these deals with Peacock, streaming rights, and the big Saudi money. But at the end of the day, is your product the best possible thing you could be putting out week in and week out for diehard fans such as yourself or me? I say that because look at it. Let's take it to football. Dallas Cowboys, America's team, probably one of the most popular franchises in the world. Doesn't mean that they're the best. Yeah, they may be the most marketable, the most profitable, but they may not be the best. And I use that comparison between WWE and AEW because people always bring up, oh, AEW doesn't make as much money as WWE. Oh, AEW has WWE living in their mind rent free. Oh, WWE has these stadium shows and they have all these viewers and look at the ratings. That doesn't mean nothing if the product is SHIT. And in my opinion, AEW has the best product right now. You saw it yesterday. You'll continue to see it in the weeks and months to come. I think 2022 is going to be the best year of AEW yet, obviously, with some big dream signings coming. I know the roster is bloated. I do agree with that. They do need to trim some fat and make sure they're utilizing the talent that they have. Only have 3 hours of television, of course, dark and elevation. And people have to stop with this dark and elevation stuff as you being buried. Because WWE, if you're on main event, yeah, that's pretty much your buried. You belong in catering. But dark and elevation are used to expose talent, allow people to work who you may not be as popular or familiar with, work their way from the ground up, get experience, get reps before they're ready for TV instead of just pushing some of them on to TV. Now, like I said, more WWE firings are probably going to be coming. I don't know who else they're going to fire in NXT. Does Tommaso Ciampa leave? Does he get pushed out the door? Does Io Shirai get pushed out the door? Pete Dunne just re-signed, but does he still get pushed out the door? I don't know. We see WWE, they're always going to go back to the well of a Brock Lesnar, a Roman Reigns, a Becky Lynch, a Charlotte Flair. What will we know that NXT as we know it is dead and buried. It's gone. NXT 2.0, they might as well not even call it NXT anymore. But William Regal, Road Dogg, some of these other individuals that they just recently fired is essentially the final nail in the coffin. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tommaso Ciampa, wouldn't be surprised to see Io Shirai, wouldn't be surprised to see Pete Dunne. Johnny Gargano's already gone. There's rumors linking him to debut at Beach Break in Cleveland, his hometown, at the end of January the 26th. We'll see what happens with that. But it's come to a point where, hey, NXT Evil was a solid event. I'm not gonna down it. I'm not gonna bury it. It was a solid event. Braun Breaker's your new NXT champion. Obviously, WWE loves him. Vince, he's a Vince guy, and I want to see where he goes with it. But I think NXT as a whole has a lot of young green talent that may not be ready for TV, and essentially thrusting them into the main scene on USA Network on weekly television may not be the best thing for the product. Now we know WWE sports entertainment, but at the end of the day, people like to see good professional wrestling. Even though at the end of the day it is all entertainment, we still like to see good professional wrestling. And there are WWE loyalists who are always going to support WWE. I'm a WWE guy. I support WWE. Are they perfect? No. I support AEW. I love AEW. I think they're the best promotion right now. Are they perfect? Hell no. I could nitpick hella stuff they did last night on that show. But consistently, with long-term booking, the way they listen to their fans, they try to give you the best possible matches, best possible outcomes, best possible storylines. Yes, the women's division still needs help. Yes, they need to make sure they feature more individuals on TV and make sure they aren't just signed and sent to darker elevation, but they need to help, and they are doing a good job creating new stars. As I've said, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Wardlow. I mean, of course, MJF, he's made himself a star. I mean, I'm probably skipping over people, but Jesus Christ, they're making new people every week. Oh, Hook, number one merchandise seller on AEW, shop AEW.com, over a CM Punk. I'm sure there are more. I mean, these guys have a lot of potential for guys in the next couple of years who could be big time stars. Malachi Black, you see what he is. You know, no, they haven't handled everybody right, but you see, even what they done with Miro, they've helped make him who he was supposed to be. Of course, he's hurt now, but they are doing a good job of actually developing characters and allowing them to get over and seeing what the crowd is reacting to them and putting on great classic 5-star matches, as we saw with Danielson and Hangman. We've seen with tag team matches in the past. Yeah, if you want to say last night's tag team match was a spot fest, I agree. A lot of high spots and it kind of bit them in the butt. But overall, you seen even at the end with the audible calling out all the teams. You see the FTRs. You see the Proud and Powerfuls. You see the, of course, Jurassic Express. You got the Lucha Brothers. You got the Young Bucks. Get Well Soon, Brandon Cutler, and Matt Jackson. You have Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. You got Private Party. They beat the Young Bucks. You have so many other teams and more coming. The Briscoes, I think, that can be showcased on television. And I think that their tag division is probably one of the best in the world. The women's division will probably be one of the better ones in the world in the next 3 to 4 months with the Tony Storm, Ember Moon, Taya Valkyrie, Tegan Knox. You got Mercedes Martinez there. Sky is the limit. I mean, it's going to be great to see what they do in 2022. Of course, I think Keith Lee's coming. The House of Black. You got Brody King. I think Julia Hart. Does Wyndham Rotunda show up? There are teases that he could be showing up still. We'll see. But I didn't want to get on the AEW tirade. The WWE firings don't stop. I'm sure there will be more as we head into WrestleMania season. If not before WrestleMania, definitely after WrestleMania. And make sure you follow the Flex Zone. We'll keep you posted on all of these things. I'll try to do more weekly videos reviewing AEW Dynamite, as it's a Flex Zone, no Flex Zone, or Muy Terrible. Of course, last night's show was a solid show. If I had to rate it out of stars, I would give it a solid 4 stars. I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars because they set the standard so high with their first couple of segments with the Daniel Bryan and Hangman, the MJF Punk, the big fight feel of an inaugural TBS champion. We'll see where they go with it. The inaugural uh, run of Jurassic Express. Are they going to be transitional champions? I mean, it's a lot of things that they teased. So we'll see what happens with that. And I think AEW is going to be primed for big 2022 as WWE deflates their roster. I mean, WWE's got to be down to less than superstars wise, under 75. It got to be under 50 superstars now. Got to be under 50 superstars, including NXT. I mean, if you really include NXT in the main roster, they are probably under 50 superstars total. I would say Raw has a good 20 to 25, SmackDown a good 20 to 25, if that. Maybe 15, so like 30. And NXT maybe like another 20, 25, most of which probably aren't ready for TV. We'll see. I want WWE to put out a great product. I think competition is great for everybody because they watch what AEW's doing. Whether you believe it or not, they watch what AEW's doing. They're watching the CM Punk MJF feud. They want an MJF to sign with them, even though he's not. They want to create that magic. Hence what they try to do with Edge and Miz. Now they're doing a mixed tag match. We'll see. I am excited to see what they do with the Royal Rumble. It looks like we're getting Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Well, we are. It's confirmed. We'll see what happens with that. We're getting a mixed tag match, thankfully, so Edge can move on to better things. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. We'll see. And potentially, looks like Roman Reigns will be back tomorrow for SmackDown. Could we have a title unification main event? I said they should do a title unification main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin as special guest referee. That's just me, but they're saying it's gonna be title versus title, maybe not a title change. So we'll see what happens. And hey, Brock is great for ratings. Roman is great for ratings. He bumped up the ratings on Monday, especially in the 18 to 49 demo. I'm sure SmackDown will be fantastic tomorrow with Roman and Brock. Paul Heyman, I'm sure. The Usos. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see how the ratings are for Fox. They'll be happy too. And I'm expecting a solid show for SmackDown tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm expecting a solid show. Roman and Brock throwing jabs, probably meeting up face to face. Paul Heyman doing what he does. And even Raw, if they let MVP and Lashley, as well as Heyman and Lesnar go at it, could be some great back and forth banter between the two teams. So we'll see what happens. I'll be doing a Royal Rumble review once everything is reviewed. Looks like Alexa Bliss is on her way back. Still don't know where Veer Mahan is. I'll make sure I give him the GPS on my phone. But let me know your thoughts. Wednesdays, we're on all streaming platforms. The Flex Zone, Apple, Spotify, Google Play. The Flex Zone podcast on YouTube. Hit that bell for all notifications. Like the videos, like this video, share it, and subscribe. Of course, plenty more. You want to donate? Cash tag the Flex on One, the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. I'm the host with the Moist, God's favorite host. We are still America's Most Wanted podcast. The Flex Zone, the Flex on One at gmail.com. Ideas, want to be a guest, sponsorship ideas or opportunities. You already know where to find us. I'm your host, God's favorite, Byron Dixon. Let me know your thoughts on AEW Dynamite on TBS. Let me know your thoughts on WWE with more firings of William Regal, Road Dogg, amongst others, Timothy Thatcher, Suzuki. Man. Only Logan, Danny Burch, all of these guys gone. It's not safe to be in WWE anymore. And what Punk said is true, man. You could be main event one night and then the unemployment line the next. So Tony Storm, she left because of burnout. She probably looked around and said, I don't want to be next. I'll just go ahead and remove myself from the situation. But let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time for more newsworthy videos in the world of WWE, in the world of AEW, in the world of sports as well. We'll be back Monday, 10 p.m., recapping week 18 of the NFL, getting you ready for that wild card weekend, or as they say, super wild card weekend. Let me know. Byron Dixon. And until next time, we gone. Peace.